Yeah. I woke up drowning in the weight of my mistakes, staring at the ceiling, counting all the things I can't erase. My room's a disaster, my head's even worse, but you walked in like sunshine, breaking through the curse. You didn't clean me up before you pulled me close. You loved me in the chaos, that's when I needed you the most. I thought I had to get it right before you looked my way, but you found beauty in my broken, met me where I lay. You put a halo in the mess when I was at my worst. You didn't wait for me to be perfect first. You saw something sacred in my stress. You put a halo in the mess, in the mess. You love the unlovable, unimpressed. My pillow and doubts in my mind, questions without answers and scars I try to hide. But you sit down in the rubble like it's holy ground. You don't rush the healing, you just stick around. I'm apologizing for the state I'm in. You're already seeing who I'm gonna be again. I thought I had to have it together to deserve your grace, but you wrote redemption in the lines across my face. You put a halo in a mess when I was at my worst. You didn't wait for me to be perfect first. You saw something sacred in my strength. You put a halo in a mess, in a mess. You love the unlovable, the unimpressed. Version. You want the real to raw to hurt, and you're not afraid of my disaster. You're the God who comes after the lost, the broke, the wandering, the ones who feel like they're not worth it. You crown with glory in the dirt and make the messy feel like worship. You see gold where I see failure, you see hope where I see danger. You're rewriting my behavior with a love that's so much greater. You put a halo in a mess, right in the middle of my storm. You made me feel like heaven even when my heart was torn. You found divinity in my distress. You put a halo in the mess, in the mess, in my mess, in my mess. I don't have to hide to be blessed. You put a halo in a mess, and now I understand that your love isn't for the perfect, it's for the fragile hands, the broken hearts that still confess. You put a halo in the mess, in a mess, ooh. And that's where I found rest, that's where I found rest. You didn't wait till I was clean, you loved me in between the falling and the standing up. That's when I felt your touch. Halo in a mess, you found me there. Halo in a mess, you didn't care how broken I appeared. You still drew near. You put a halo in the mess and called it blessed. I spent my whole life chasing answers in a book, trying to solve the mystery with every second look. Memorized the scriptures, thought that knowledge was the key, but I was missing everything you wanted me to see. 'Cause all the theology and doctrine in my head meant nothing till I learned to love the way you said. I was so concerned with being right, I forgot to hold somebody through the night. Love was the lesson all along, not who's right or who is wrong. All the questions, all the searching led me back to what was certain. Love was a lesson, love was a point. Grace for the broken, hope for the destroyed. I finally understand what you've been teaching. Love was a lesson. Love was a lesson. I used to judge the ones who didn't walk the way I walk, build walls instead of bridges with the way I talk. But then you showed me mercy when I fell from my pedestal, and suddenly compassion wasn't theoretical. Now I see your face in every stranger on the street, and loving without limits is the only creed I need. I was so busy drawing lines, I missed the chance to change someone's life. Love was the lesson all along, not who's right or who is wrong. All the questions, all the searching led me back to what was certain. Love was a lesson, love was a point. Grace for the broken, hope for the destroyed. I finally understand what you've been teaching. Love was a lesson. Love was a lesson. You said the greatest of these is love, but I was chasing everything above. The simple truth you came to prove, that love's the only way we move. Fake and move a mountain high, hoping make us touch the sky. But without love, it's just a noise, an empty echo, hollow voice. Love the Lord and love your neighbor, that's the whole entire law and favor. Everything else is just commentary. Hey, all that's necessary. Love was a lesson all along, no, not the performance, not the song, not the same. All the striving, all the reaching led me back to what you're speaking. Love was a lesson, love was the way. Not tomorrow, but today. I finally see what you've been preaching. Love was a lesson, love was the way. Love was the lesson. Love was a lesson. Love was a lesson. Love was a lesson. The weak, the different, they belong. All the barriers I've been making were the walls that needed breaking. Love was a lesson. Love was a cure for every heart that feels unsure. Now every breath that I take is breathing. Love as a lesson. Love as a meaning. All the answers I was seeking were in the love and not the speaking. All the truth I needed hearing was in the presence, not the fearing. Love was a lesson, 'cause lessons that I needed. Love was a lesson, bringing me back to what matters, what remains when everything else fades away. Love was a lesson, and I'm still learning every day. I thought you were temporary, just passing through my life. Another lesson wrapped in beauty, gone by morning light. But when the seasons change and everything went cold, you stay when all the fair weather friends let go. Most people love you when you're easy, when you're whole, but you held me through the breaking. That's how I know real love doesn't run when the fight gets hard. You proved you're not like everyone, you got an angel's heart. Angels don't leave when the night gets long. They stay and hold you through what's going wrong. When the world turns dark and you can barely breathe, that's when you show me angels don't leave, don't leave. You love me at my lowest, gave me wings to believe. I've seen people promise forever with their words, then disappear like echoes when the truth gets heard. But you looked at all my demons, didn't turn away. You fought beside me in the war I fight every day. There's something sacred in the way you choose to stay, like heaven sent you here to show me grace's face. Real love doesn't fade when the storm rolls in. You're the proof that there's divine in human skin. Angels don't leave when the night gets long. They stay, hold you through what's going wrong. When the world turns dark and you can barely breathe, that's when you show me angels don't leave, don't leave. You love me at my lowest, gave me wings to believe. I was drowning in the deep end, you jumped in without questioning. Didn't care about the cost, you just couldn't watch me lost. Most would've walked away, said they couldn't handle the weight, but you carry what I couldn't bear, prove that heaven answers prayers. You're the miracle I needed when my faith was all depleted. You reminded me what's true, that God still speaks through people like you. Angels don't leave when the night gets long. They stay and fight for you when you're not strong. When you're falling apart and you're on your knees, that's when you prove that angels don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. You never left. You love me through the chaos, made me believe. Angels don't leave, they're faithful and true. They see the worst of you and still choose you. I was convinced I was too much to keep, but you showed me angels don't leave, don't leave. Now I know what real love means. Everyone else was running, you were there, you were coming closer when I pushed away. That's how I learned angels stay. Angels don't leave, no they don't. Angels don't leave, you never did it. Even when I gave you reasons, you stayed through all the seasons. You're my angel here on earth. Show me what a soul is worth. Angels don't leave, and neither will I. I've been moving at 100 miles an hour all my life, chasing destinations, never learning how to glide, racing past the moments that were trying to teach me how to slow down, how to let your love reach me. But you met me in the madness, whispered take a breath, showed me that the sacred life in slowness, not in stress. I was addicted to the rush, the noise, the speed, but you're teaching me that stillness is what I really need. Grace in slow motion, finally I'm feeling it. Every second stretching out, and I'm breathing in. Learning that your love's not something I can chase. It's here when I slow down enough to see your face. Grace in slow motion, like time stands still when you're close. Grace in slow motion, this is where I heal the most. I used to think that busy meant that I was being blessed. Fill my calendar with noise to cover up the emptiness. But there's a different kind of power in the pause between the notes. In the silence where your spirit finally gets to speak the most. Now I'm savoring the sunrise, not just scrolling past the view. Finding heaven in the ordinary moments spent with you. I was running from the quiet, thought it meant I was alone. But you're loudest in the stillness, in the slowing down I've grown. Grace in slow motion, finally I'm feeling it. Every second stretching out, and I'm breathing in. Learning that your love's not something I can chase. It's here when I slow down enough to see your face. Grace in slow motion, like time stands still when you're close. Grace in slow motion, this is where I heal the most. Slow me down, teach me how to rest without the guilt. Slow me down, show me what you're trying to build. In the margins, not the margins. In the waiting, not the racing. In the pausing, not the chasing. That's where your voice is clearest. Every breath becomes a prayer. Every moment I'm aware that you're moving everywhere. When I finally stop to stare, I don't have to earn your presence. I just have to stop resisting the invitation. You keep whispering, come and rest, come and listen. Grace in slow motion, now I'm following your way. Every heartbeat is a gift I'm learning not to waste. Living in the present, not the future I can't face. Found your peace when I slow down enough to feel your grace. Grace in slow motion, like I'm floating, not just moving through. Grace in slow motion, everything is clearer when I'm here with you. Grace in slow motion, this is where I come alive. Not in all the doing, but in being by your side. Every second sacred, every breath a perfect place to encounter all the fullness of your grace. Grace in slow motion, finally I understand the truth. Slow it down, I can hear you now. I can feel you now. Grace in slow motion, like a wave washing over me. No more hurry, no more worry, just your love surrounding me. Grace in slow motion, this is where I'm meant to be. Breathing in, breathing out, this is what it's all about. Grace in slow motion, grace in slow motion. I've been tested by the fire, pushed against the wall. Had 1,000 reasons I could walk away from it all. When the answers didn't come and the silence got too loud, when my prayers felt like they vanished in the clouds. But something deep inside me wouldn't let me quit. a whisper in my spirit saying hold on to this. Even when I couldn't see the light, something kept me holding on through the fire. Faith don't fade when the world gets heavy. It might bend but it won't break, no, it stays steady. Through the valleys and the shadows and the pain, faith don't fade, faith don't fade. It's the anchor in a storm, the hope I'm holding. Even when my heart is torn and doors are closing, something in me still believes you'll make a way. Faith don't fade, faith don't fade. I've seen mountains that I thought would never move. I faced giants that were bigger than the truth, but every single battle taught me something real. That believing isn't feeling, it's a choice to kneel. When doubt is screaming louder than a freight train, I still choose to trust you're working in the pain. Even when the evidence says otherwise, something in my soul refuses to die. Faith don't fade when the world gets heavy. It might bend but it won't break, no, it stays steady. Through the valleys and the shadows and the pain, faith don't fade, faith don't fade. It's the anchor in a storm, the hope I'm holding. Even when my heart is torn and doors are closing, something in me still believes you'll make a way. Faith don't fade, faith don't fade. You can take away my comfort, you can shake what I've been standing on, but you can't take my foundation, cause it's built on something strong. I've seen you part the waters, I've seen you heal the sick, I've seen you raise the dead to life, so I won't forget. When they ask me how I made it through the hell I've been through, I'll tell them it was faith, and faith was always you. It's not optimism, it's not positive thinking, it's a supernatural knowing that you're never leaving. Faith don't fade when the world gets heavy. It might bend but it won't break, no, it stays steady. Through the fire and the floods and the hurricane, faith don't fade, faith don't fade, faith don't fade. It's the rock beneath my feet when I'm falling. It's the voice that speaks peace when fear is calling. The substance of the things I hope to see one day. Faith don't fade, faith don't fade, faith don't fade. It only grows stronger. Every trial makes it last a little longer. What the enemy meant for evil you restrain. Faith don't fade, faith don't fade. Let the winds blow, let the earth shake. My foundation's gonna hold, it won't break. Built on the rock, not the sand or the clay. Faith don't fade.